But yeah, I don't know. It's like I think that people like I don't know. I can't really stand Fox News at all. Like, uh,
But it's the real news, you communist bitch.
excuse me. It's communist, Stalinist, Marxist, Leninist, Maoist, Trotskyist, libtard.
That
Thank you
is
very much.
that is a whole bunch of that's a whole bunch of contradictory shit thrown onto each other.
Well, because of my liberalist mental disorder, as the conservatives call it, I don't care. No, but seriously, next time I see someone call liberal saying that just because someone's liberal they're mentally ill, I'm going to fucking scream. Like that shit annoys the shit out of me.
Liberalism is a mental disorder.
DarkCon, you cuck. Did you see those fuckers spamming my downvotes on my videos? I thought it was funny as hell.
I'm just kidding. But in all seriousness, I did appreciate that comment talking about how generalizing an entire ideology is a mental disorder is rather over-exaggerative and ableist. Oh yeah, my ableism. But I mean, aside from pedophilia, if you want to like classify that as an ideology in its own,
it's not an ideology. It's degeneracy and
degeneracy of
pedophilia is not an ideology. Okay?
Degeneracy of the far unacceptable levels.
Right.
Yeah.
It's sexual degeneracy, but it's not an ideology.
Yeah. I also really appreciate this meme that I made in response to a literal communist. I mean,
wait, who's the communist that cucked out to Hillary?
The joke is that it's Bernie Sanders, motherfucker. Like
you whore.
It's true though. I mean, to be honest,
he did cuck out to Hillary Clinton. How are you going to call yourself a so-called democratic socialist and then cuck out to a neoliberal? The fuck.
To be honest, had he started his campaign sooner and had he campaigned a little more vigorously, because at first he was just campaigning on the weekends and then he'd go back to the Senate. Had he campaigned a little more vigorously and made a little more effort in the South, which he fucking lost in a landslide, he probably would have made the ice bitch, or aka the John
socialists in America to vote for Bernie Sanders. Well, I might be wrong about that.
But I think
what'd you say?
I said we don't have enough socialists in America to vote for Bernie Sanders.
I mean, Obama won twice, so come on.
Well, a lot of socialists don't really. A lot of socialists say that Bernie Sanders is too moderate, and I wouldn't disagree. And I wouldn't disagree with them either. He's too moderate.
No, I think being moderate in America, I'm pretty sure people are.
I wouldn't technically call him moderate, but he's definitely milquetoast when it comes to socialism. Especially when it comes to people.
What the fuck does he have to do to be an extremist? Because he's not literally proposing putting people in gulags. That makes him a moderate.
Maybe.
I guess that's what the
he hasn't actually fully embraced socialism like he claims he has, and that's why people think he's too moderate.
Oh yeah.
I mean, if I was to put him side by side with Owen, Owen actually makes me like Bernie Sanders. So there's how I address that.
Yeah, here's the interesting question, you guys. If you had a choice between living under a communist regime or a fascist regime, which one would you pick?
Communist.
Communist or fascist?
I think there's some movement.
I'm trying not to be the victim of a genocide, so communist it is.
In the beginning of racial ideology was part of the fascist ideology.
Huh? Who? What?
Yeah, the racial superiority was added in later by Hitler. Actually, Mussolini's brand of fascism really did not include any sort of racial hierarchy at all.
Well, it certainly wasn't anti-Semitic in Mussolini's form of fascism, but not until Hitler took over Italy later on. But originally, there were actually a lot of Jews in power there. That changed, of course, when the Nazis took over.
There was actually a poll that I saw not too long ago that was asking which form of society would you rather live under, anarchy, Nazism, or communism. And communism came in dead last, but guess what came in first, unfortunately? It was Nazism. Anarchy was like second place. I voted for anarchy, me personally, but damn, that was a disappointment. Must have been invaded by a whole bunch of Richard Spencer's, Jean-Francois Garapi's fan base, you know?
Yeah, I would have
Something like
voted
that.
for anarchism as well.
I actually have a theory about Richard Spencer, by the way. I think he's a Strasserist.
What the fuck is that?
I think
They were Strasserists were the left wing part of the Nazi Party, and the reason I say that is because he's been saying because some of his quotes he said were oddly left wing. I'm like,
well,
he definitely is overall in his philosophy center left. He essentially just takes. He essentially is a white nationalist version, but he adopts the same economic philosophy.
Yeah,
it's
weird because the alt-right people are actually in favor of a lot of government intervention. If you look at Black Pigeon Speaks, he believes in a universal healthcare system, a socialized healthcare system like Japan has. Yeah.
Well, to be honest,
I don't know hardly anything about Pigeon, but I thought he was a little bit more right-leaning than that. But yeah, Spencer advocates for single-payer health care, a living wage, quote unquote, and I think if I recall correctly, he's also a pro-choicer. Some fairly left-leaning positions right there.
I actually don't think he's pro-choice, at least not for white people.
That might be a possibility. I mean, that's kind of the same thing that was with the Nazis. Like they were pro-choice for everyone but Aryans.
Yeah.
Imagine if your name is Arion and you live in Germany. Imagine if you were named Arion and like you were born in the 2000s.
Speaking of abortion, like I found it interesting. Taylor, Boomer, whatever. What?
What'd you say?
I found it interesting, like the one last live stream that Owen and Sman were having together, that you were like speaking rather empathetically against, for the pro-life position, more or less.
Well, I see. I am generally pro-choice, but I don't see abortion as inherently a moral good.
I can at least respect that position. I mean, if a person...
Are you against that New York bill that just passed, the one which basically allows infanticide?
I don't know much. I don't know really anything about it, to be honest.
I thought that was Virginia more.
The governor...
Virginia's also
Virginia.
Oh yeah. Look, I think we can all agree that like late-term abortions is bad, and like the governor of Virginia was just fucking up a lot with... In the last week, you got the.
This has not been a good week for him.
Yeah, Governor.
Really funny. Standing next to a Ku Klux Klan member. Yeah, that was pretty funny.
Oh, you know what's really funny? There was a plot episode of the TV show from Netflix, House of Cards, where that happened to the main character.
I know. I saw that. I was like,
that show imitated reality. That is so funny.
But the interesting thing is, now I wonder if either side of the political spectrum is going to ever fuck with your books again.
This guy that I followed made this tweet saying that all the white politicians are flipping through their yearbook to see if they got any Klan photos.
Tom Lennon probably, but he's dead.
Blackface is one thing, a sombrero is another. If people go into out over a sombrero, you can go F yourselves.
So if I was president and I wore sombrero at my inauguration, would you guys have a problem with it?
I would, as the Speaker of the House, I would probably move to impeach you. I'm sorry.
I would not, S-Man. Sombrero. Actually, no, I would, because a sombrero is like it's an icon of accepting illegal immigration. You have finally cucked for the open borders crowd by wearing that sombrero on your inauguration.
Yes, and you know what? You know what I'm really offended by? In the movie 300, a Scottish guy plays the king of Sparta. All right, that is cultural appropriation of us Greeks. That needs to change. Anyone who wears a costume of toga or anything else, else resembling the ancient Spartans, you
Yeah.
are appropriating my culture.
I love
shame
how
on you.
liberal. I actually love how liberals utterly bastardize the fundamental meaning behind the term cultural appropriation. It doesn't even mean anything anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's become a good
I
meme.
always found cultural appropriation to be ridiculous because I'm a musician. I like to play the blues sometimes, and I think I committed cultural appropriation every time I am playing.
Gasp. So the
Shame on you, Ash.
So the original concept behind a cultural appropriation is one culture taking an aspect from another culture while erasing the contributions or stigmatizing the contributions of the original people that created it. Does that make sense?
Okay.
Does that make sense?
I mean, yeah, it makes sense. I mean, I don't recall, like, say, Chili's, for example, which I think is a Tex-Mex restaurant, like outright just saying that Mexico in of itself is like an immoral nation or whatever.
Yeah, I know, but like you'll have people like I hate the dreadlocks debate because because it's a weak because it was a weak argument.
You're
But
talking about dreadlocks as in people who aren't black wearing dreadlocks.
Yeah, I actually tend to disagree with most people about that because dreadlocks isn't uniquely African in any way, shape, and form. But one thing that is uniquely African is cornrows. That's a particular hairstyle, and and I personally don't think they look. I personally don't think they look good on white people, but I don't care if they wear them. But cornrows.
Dreads.
No, I'm talking about cornrows. Now, the problem with cornrows is that a lot of black women in particular would actually get told at work that they're not allowed to wear their hair like that.
Are you sure that's not a sanitation issue or a professionalism type thing?
I don't see how it would not be. I mean, I don't see how it would be a sanitation or professionalism issue.
I mean, if it's like an issue of like working at a restaurant or something, then well, actually, even then, cornrows are not that long of a hairstyle. Like they keep it like at chin length at most, if not shorter.
Yeah, everyone.
Cornrows, you can put a hairnet around that.
Where this kid had like this hairstyle. I don't know if he had dreadlocks or cornrows, but he was wrestling, and his hair could not fit underneath the net, so he was forced to cut. So he was forced to cut it by the referee.
It was probably dreads.
Yeah, that was dreads.
I don't think anybody was calling that racist. I don't really think it is racist because I was looking at the comment section of all the people saying, "Hey, I had to cut my hair for this, and I had really long hair. I'm white, and I had to cut it because of this."
It only makes sense so that you do not get your hair constantly grabbed by your opponent in wrestling.
Or it accidentally gets caught underneath him during like a certain wrestling move or what.
Yeah. My father used to do a lot of wrestling himself in high school, and he had a mustache, and they made him cut it. And after he was done with wrestling and he moved on with life, he has never shaved it off since. And if I ever see him without a mustache, I don't think I'll recognize him.
I gotta tell you one thing though. A lot of people were trying to say this was racist because hair has some sort of spiritual significance for black people, and that
no, it doesn't.
Well, Samson was black, so no, I'm joking.
It has some spiritual significance, and they were trying to argue that's racist because of that. And I'm like, last time I checked, what religion has hair part of it? Rastafarian? I don't think.
Rastafarians sometimes, but that's not really a. But in general, hair doesn't serve a spiritual purpose in the black community.
That's what some people were trying. Oh, that's what I got the impression of what some people were trying to say, that it has some or cultural significance is what I
mean, I do know that it's like a spiritual thing amongst Cherokee, just Native Americans in general.
My people.
I have a question for you guys.
Well, aren't you like 1/64th Native American or something like that? Like it's so thin.
Not as thin as Elizabeth Warren. She has 1 in 1,024.
Yeah, right. You're right.
American than you.
Then Warren, I'm 1/256. That's very tiny, but it's still better than
Bigger than hers.
northern. She's not even northern South American. There's a possibility that she might be South American. Not even. That was hilarious when I saw that.
Oh, so she.
Funny
would be,
thing is that that DNA tests have a really hard time. Have a really difficult time with Native American DNA. My family, we know that we have Cherokee ancestors, but our DNA test could not pick it up for some reason. It picks up Native American ancestry, but it was confused. It was saying that our ancestry was all the way in Mexico or something. I was like,
there's like a margin of error with the test.
I mean that would have been Aztecs more, wouldn't it have been?
yeah, Aztecs.
Meccans. Oh no, not the Meccans. What am I saying? Meccans?
Are you talking about Incans?
Not the Incans. It was started with an M. There was like the
Mayans?
Yeah, them.
Mayans.
Mayans are a little bit further south than Mexico, I thought.
I gotta go.
They're in the Yucatan area, so.
See you later, Aspie.
No.
Actually, I have a question for you guys. This is just a little interesting thing I just thought of. So people that are to the left of most of us oppose privatizing things, but when they're saying you shouldn't culturally appropriate something, aren't they privatizing cultures?
Boo! Boo! That sucks.
Yeah.
That is a bad joke. That's a bad analogy.
No.
Laura feels the need lately to stick her head out the window and bark at every car that drives by.
You know, I just got a very quick question. This is kind of unrelated to the current subject, but a little bit of an earlier subject. Boomer.
What's up?
Your slightly pro-life sympathies that you have. I mean, you say that obviously you're overall pro-choice, but you have some concerns about abortion, that as you expressed in that one live stream, or at least the live chat of that stream.
Yeah.
I mean, your concerns on abortion is not about I want to control black women or something like that. It's more because you're concerned about the right to life and bodily autonomy of the baby, right?
Yeah, I am concerned about that.
Exactly. Thank you.
Also, I'm very creeped. I'm also very creeped out that a lot of advertisements and whatnot for a lot of PSAs and all that stuff for abortion love to make black women the face of it, and it's sort of it gives me eugenics vibes.
It totally does.
Right. I mean, the reason why I asked that is because, and I know obviously that you're quite a fan of Owen yourself, but
Sometimes
I'm calling out Taylor for daring to be associating with the white supremacist dark conservatarian who I will destroy on my live stream tonight. I commence Hulk Hogan to moderate the debate.
Wait, is that live stream tonight?
Yeah, it's tonight.
You're damn
6
right,
p.m.
motherfucker.
6 p.m. Central Standard Time. But the reason why I asked that is because I have a big problem of where that Owen likes to say. He kept on saying time and time again in that live stream that the reason as to why that I hold a pro-life position on the issue of abortion is because I want to control women, or just because in his view, people. Oh yes, I'm being transphobic because I'm not including all peoples. But anyway, because I want to control people just in general, and not because I am concerned about preserving the right to life for these babies. And he just keeps on doubling down on that straw man.
Let's get ready to rumble on my live stream.
See, yes. I don't fully understand what the mentality is when people say that being pro-life is about controlling women's body autonomy. At the same time,
I know.
Go ahead.
Well, here's why. Because we don't get to take the man's money for the abortion. How dare we pay for our own abortions?
But I will say that I do find it suspect that there are some people who think that certain cases, that there are cases where I believe there are cases where abortion is not only acceptable but necessary, like
life of mother.
Yeah, the life of the mother. Or if you're a victim of, rape and incest and stuff like that, I can't tell you that you shouldn't get an abortion. That
Yeah.
just that would sit wrong with me.
My personal thing about rape and incest, I mean, okay, incest is a little bit harder of a side to tackle because when you have like incest babies, they're like mentally degenerative and they might do some, I don't know, fucked up shit as people theorize.
Yeah, they're deformed and they're just like mutations.
But when it comes to rape, more specifically, I cannot blame the baby for what happened to the mother. I mean, I can be more sympathetic towards women who want to like abort their child because they had a past traumatic experience that got them that baby, that being rape. More so than I can be sympathetic towards. Actually, I experienced almost no. Well, okay, I won't say almost no sympathy, but I'm more sympathetic towards women who want to abort based on rape than ones who want to rape or abort based off of convenience because, oh, the condom broke, or, oh, I completely forgot the condom, I forgot the pills. Oh, I just found out last second that it's going to be too expensive, too inconvenient, the baby's going to be a waste of my time, or blah, 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 blah. That ain't the baby's fault, bitch.
Well, DarkCon, what you're forgetting is that they'll be like, but DarkCon, what if me and my girlfriend want to go to the pub and get lit? If we can't get rid of this poor abomination of a baby, she has to be responsible. I have to go and get a job and sustain our future family. DarkCon, you're a fascist for having me take responsibility of my own situation.
Oh my god.
I know that's I know that's a rather mean thing to joke about, but it's not that. Ow! Oh shit!
I have a question, S-Man, real quick. Is this on
Go for
air?
Yeah, but no one even watches these streams, so I'm probably gonna unlist it anyway.
Oh, okay.
Wait,
I was gonna say.
No, I hate to tell you this, but PewDiePie is at this moment watching it and rebroadcasting the whole thing.
Damn.
Why? Okay, go on, Boomer, and then I got a question for you, S-Man.
The reason I asked is because there's some things there's some things that Owen says on his post that I'm just like, bruh, what are you talking about?
Yeah, like he had a tweet where like at first like if you just read the first part without the rest of this tweet, it sounds fine. Yeah, it's disgusting for people to say people have mental illness or faking it. And then he says it's capitalism's fault. I'm like, you fucking retard. No, it's not.
Why was why you want to like unlist the stream, S-Man? Was there something rather very personal omitted?
No, it's just generally I'm probably gonna get back into the habit of like as soon as like I can have this strike removed off my main, I'm probably just gonna unlist all the videos off this account anyway, and that's
Wait, you got a strike on your main? What for?
It was over a video complaining about some incident in Sweden back in 2016 where there was it was alleged that there was that they were removing the Christmas lights to avoid offending Muslims. I talked about it and I said if it's true, and I made sure to clarify if it's true, then that is ridiculous. But if it's not true, then people need to calm down on the outrage. And if it's Sweden's decision to remove the Christmas lights, it's their decision.
And they gave you a strike for that?
Yep, because it's hate speech. Because the American Sman dared to criticize Sweden.
It was very, very freaking mild.
Yeah,
damn, YouTube sucks.
Mm-hmm. And the strike goes away next month, which I think tomorrow next month. So I will make sure.
I'm surprised I managed to never get a strike.
Yeah, I plan on hosting a stream that day where I'll be like, S-Man returns to live streaming, and okay, that's a long title, but basically I'll put it in the description where I'm like, S-Man has finally removed his toxic masculinity. And
did you appeal the strike?
Oh yeah, and within less than a few hours, they returned with saying, "Yep, we looked at your video," and I'm thinking bullshit, and they
probably didn't.
Yeah, and they said the strike was upheld. So I'm like, wow, because at first they said the video was blocked, and I'm like, I thought, all right, that's ridiculous. I watched it and I appealed it. I was like, that's ridiculous. You shouldn't lock it. Then they came back with a strike, and there's a few L's in my name, but I really took one that day. DarkCon and I were in a hangout when I got notified of the strike, and he saw me literally facepalm really hard.
No, you face desked is what you were. Is what you
Oh.
did. You like
Oh,
planted
yeah.
your face into the desk. You're just.
I was so disappointed. I was like, 2 weeks after I started to live stream again.
You were just all like.
DarkCon has died, everybody. Now he's live. But yeah, it was so stupid. I was like, so me talking about something, and I wasn't calling Muslims any names. I was just like,
We're getting some background hiss from you, Boomer.
Oh, sorry. These are new earphones, so they might suck. I'm sorry.
are you brushing up against anything?
Suck. They suck as much as you do, dick.
Oh Jesus!
So the governor of Virginia is having his a press meeting right now. Man is digging himself into a deeper hole.
Yeah, he's all like, I apologized yesterday for appearing in a Klan's photo back in the 1980s, and
He's saying that wasn't him.
That wasn't me. That wasn't me.
He says
back on it once you've already admitted it was your photo. You really can't walk back on it.
Dude says he used just a little bit of shoe polish to darken his face and compete as Michael Jackson for a dance contest in 1984. Oh my God!
That's a good one.
I did not appear next to that Klansman, but I did dress in blackface.
You should just say I'm actually a coal miner, and
was
an
it
extra in Mary Poppins.
What was it? 40-year-old Michael Jackson or 20-year-old Michael Jackson?
It was 80. This was back in '84, so 20-something-year-old Michael Jackson. This was black Michael Jackson.
Honestly, I think that I can imagine Governor Northam pulling a Bill Clinton and be like, I did not take that picture with that Klansman, but I did wear blackface as Michael Jackson.
By the way, speaking of Michael Jackson, Razorfist actually has a series of where he's debunking the claims of Michael Jackson supposedly being a pedophile. I ought to watch that sometime.
The guy's been dead for 10 years and he's still in the fucking headlines. What the fuck?
You're talking about the king of pop. I mean, of course.
A lot of the fucking thing about Michael Jackson is that I think every time someone accused him, the charges either got dropped or he was acquitted. So
yeah, I remember that trial. Yeah, he was accused of sexual molestation and he was acquitted formally. The case was really bad.
He was only accused, and so then his reputation was smeared for all eternity.
I think it's just
that's really it.
It's legit just the Me Too movement trying to profit off of their movement.
I remember there was a sketch. There's a sketch Robot Chicken did well over a decade and a half ago where they have an alien spaceship lands in the middle of his molestation trial, and like 80s Michael Jackson comes out of it and says, "I'm Michael Jackson, the real Michael Jackson. Aliens replaced me with this white dude to take over the world."
You say it was the Me Too movement. It was more like the little kiddie version of the Me Too movement.
Yeah.
Oh God. Oh Jesus.
Lord.
But yeah, I'm gonna be completely honest with you all. Ever since the rise of the Me Too movement and what happened with how the Democrats acted with Brett Kavanaugh, even though I didn't like the guy, it's made me a little more anti-feminist now. Like since then.
Yo! I'm sorry to distract from this again, but I'm reading the comments about this press releasing, and someone just said, "I did not have sexual relations with that woman."
No. More like it was, I did not have relations with the Klan.
Or you could just say, no one brought any extra bags. Django Unchained.
Someone just said
Django Unchained, you get that reference.
It's been a while since I've seen that movie.
Well, I haven't seen Django.
It's a great movie.
I haven't seen Django Unchained. Maybe I should, but I have seen Blazing
you
Saddles.
Definitely see Django Unchained. It's an amazing movie.
I mean, what I found one of the funnier parts of the movie was when what's his face, the guy who played as Willy Wonka,
Gene Wilder.
Gene Wilder. Damn it. Yeah, he had some special nickname in that movie, but anyway, Gene Wilder's character says, "Hey, Klansman, I have a black guy here for you." And then he pulls out what's his face? I think it was called Buck in the movie or something. But he pulls out Buck, and then Buck is just like, "Any of y'all seen any white women around?"
The line is, "Hey, where are all the white women at?"
Yeah.
That's from Blazing Saddles. That's from back in the 70s.
I got
By the
you.
way,
Great comedy, classic.
We in the Klan cannot have interracial marriages. I wonder if the Klan is the people who disliked my defense of interracial marriage video.
We now have the soundbite of DarkCon admitting as a part of the Klan. Yes.
Oh god.
By the way, speaking of Django Unchained, Leonardo DiCaprio played that role so well, I've not trusted him since.
Yes. Leonardo DiCaprio dies in like a third of the movies he's in. I mean, other than Sean Bean, and I think Leonardo DiCaprio has died on screen more than any other living actor.
Oh my god. Remember that clip of where this old white lady says that the black guy she says "up yours N-word"? I was trying to see what movie.
Yeah.
That's Blazing Saddles.
Yeah, that was funny. But you know what I thought was the most funniest part of that entire movie was the part of when that Buck is first coming as the new sheriff of the town, and as soon as everybody gets a good view that it's a black sheriff that they got, it's just dead silence for 5 minutes, and I could not help. I have never laughed at dead silence for so long, but I did right then. Well, and then it gets even better of when that Buck is pointing a gun at himself, pretending to be both himself and a white racist, kidnapping him. That was funny as shit.
You know, they cut out one of the funniest lines that was in the script because they thought it was too rancy. Or basically when he's about to, when that dancer's about to sleep with the sheriff, okay, she says, "Is it true what they say about you people?" "Oh, it's true." Originally, he was supposed to follow that line by saying, "I'm sorry to disappoint you, man, but you're sucking on my arm."
I think you said that once before, Loudmouth.
Okay, that would have been funny.
Oh shit. Oh jeez.
S-Man.
Crickets.
What's up?
Why are you such a fascist?
Because I don't subscribe to the debunked science of Marxism Leninism. And
wow.
I dare in 2019 be straight, white, male, cis, and
I thought you were Mexican.
I'm
over to the other side of the wall with you.
And I have the American flag in my Twitter name because I am more patriotic than DarkCon. I'm calling you out, DarkCon.
You're gonna make a wall on the northern part of the South once you segregate off.
Oh, that reminds me. There's some liberals who keep joking about how the South needs to be removed from the United States. I'm like, y'all racist ass hoes. Think that the South is exceptionally racist. It isn't.
I can actually imagine. I remember some people argued for having America be would split off into 4 sub-countries, like the West, the South, the Northeast, and the Midwest, which I don't know. I wouldn't agree with that idea, but I can actually imagine Taylor would have every southern state and the District of Columbia succeed from the Union, because according to the census, Maryland and Delaware and the District of Columbia are still considered part of the South. I can imagine you would have them succeed from the Union, and then you'd have you would have it. I don't know what you'd call your country, but I can imagine it'd be
Wakanda. No, I'm joking.
Except I can imagine except I can imagine Florida. I'm pretty sure Taylor would just annex Florida. You would have it.
You're just jealous not to deal with it.
Florida would just be the source of all our reality television.
I'm surprised you wouldn't sink Florida into the water.
Florida, Miami, Florida will become the new Hollywood.
The nation's capital will probably be fucking Houston, Texas, or something.
Oh no, Texas would be probably more. I think Texas. Is more culturally associated with the Western United States than the South. Only East Texas is really culturally Southern.
If I took the Western United States, I would make my state's capital the nation's capital of Smanistan, and California. I would invade it, and I would I would appoint people to clean that shit up, and
I would nuke San Francisco.
Literally clean that shit up, S-Man.
Exactly.
S-Man, I would nuke San Francisco.
What, a little bit too degenerate for you?
It is too expensive to live there. We need to knock them down a peg.
Imagine that would make it much cheaper.
Yeah.
I can also imagine
lower the property values if it was contaminated with radiation.
I can imagine Loudmouth would take over the Midwest, where the most popular job there is to review movies and shit, and the nation's capital is somewhere in the Midwest.
I'm looking in dough right now reviewing movies. You have no idea.
Yeah,
I would. The capital of my country would be. I'm not sure what my country would be. It'd either be Richmond, Jackson, Montgomery, or Atlanta.
Yeah,
one of those cities.
I've been to Richmond, Virginia before. It's a pretty beautiful city.
It is.
If I was to, I've heard people argue that we should have different department agencies of this country, not all be located in the District of Columbia.
I agree.
Hey, Northern Virginia needs to maintain its wealth and power, so no, y'all cannot have our agencies. You hoes.
I would move.
Pull yourselves up by your own bootstraps.
Oh, I don't.
I would move because I think it would probably be a little safer because with all these department agencies scattered across the U.S., they'd probably be a little less vulnerable to attacks. But
my main thing is power being less centrally controlled.
Yeah, I would move I'd move the Department of Defense to a rural state, to get it out.
I was okay. I guess we were thinking about two different things. I was almost thinking stuff like EPA and IRS is each state gets their own version of those. And OSHA as well.
I think the agencies should be more dispersed. The departments should be more centralized. Because they have to be easily they have to be within reach of the president at any given time.
Yeah. So the agents, the departments, sure, I'd keep in DC, or at least I would make it around the District of Columbia. You could move them around Delaware, Maryland, Pennsylvania, New Jersey. It's still very accessible to the president.
You know what we need? We need to put the CIA in Mississippi.
Why?
Why not? We might as well spy on the rednecks there.
Oh God!
What about in Alabama?
We don't need to spy on the rednecks inbreeding, Taylor.
Or the panhandle. Or what about the panhandle of Florida?
Oh. And then let's see. We should put the DEA in. We should sit
wherever Walter White lived. Didn't he live in Georgia?
Who?
Walter White. I'm thinking of Breaking Bad.
Oh, I didn't watch that show.
In Arizona, not Georgia.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was. I don't know why I thought Georgia. What the fuck?
Yeah, we should actually put the DEA in Arizona or one of the border states.
Then we can put the NSA into the garbage can.
Yep.
And
the NSA watches all your streams, dude. So you're in good shape.
All right, so you know what? If they're gonna do that, hey, whoever's the head of the NSA, if you could just follow my Twitter, that would be great. I would very much appreciate it. If you could give a like and a subscribe, that would also be great. And in exchange, I won't abolish your department.
Let's see. I think the EPA should be
I'd put it in.
But
Well, I'd put it in Florida, to be honest. Aren't they like? I think that's the state most affected by climate change.
oh, so you want the EPA to drown? That's what it is. Okay.
Well, we are coming out of an ice age, guys. If no one, gets that, I hope someone gets that reference. Probably not.
It's pretty warm here right now.
Yeah, it finally
Well,
hit 36 degrees here. It's shorts weather. I literally saw a white dude in shorts today. Y'all are immortal or something.
It's like 50. Okay, it's 46 degrees in Ogden. It's raining, and the wind chill is 42.
Well,
I mean, no, we're not.
I had a huge warm up today, so I was able to go on a nice long walk with my dog.
We're not. We're
Right
not.
now it's like 40 degrees.
We're not immortal, Boomer. I mean, remember, our weakness is the sun. Remember?
Ah, that's okay. I see. So
Unless you're
the sun,
half.
y'all can. I see how it is. So the black folks, we make fun of y'all during the summer, and then y'all just walk out in shorts in the wintertime to flex on us. Got it. Got it.
And let's
That
also-
is exactly it.
the dark vampire is right. The dark vampiritarian. That'd actually be funny for Halloween, but yeah, like
I just on Halloween I rock out my pea coat and everything, but the only difference I have is that I put fake fangs in my teeth.
and he wears emo makeup. Which
Hey,
DarkCon-
who's to say that I don't already do that?
Okay, I'm gonna commission Faith to draw that
Myself in makeup,
emo makeup,
emo. Okay.
or I'll contact your
J-
boyfriend, Doctor of Plagues.
Oh god. Just tell Faith not to forget the sunglasses. The sunglasses are a signature of the dark conservatarian.
Yeah, and the dark restraining order.
Hey, S-Man, I have a question for you.
What's up?
You've mentioned multiple times that you wanted to abolish the Department of Education. Why?
I think that a one size fits all approach to education isn't the way to fix education. Although, to be honest, I'm not like I can compromise on the issue, like rather than just completely abolish it. At the very least, audit the fuck out of like a lot of these agencies. But I don't oppose the idea of abolishing it. But right now, I'm more focused on abolishing the NSA, ICE, and the Department of Homeland Security.
Whoa, you want to abolish ICE?
I'm just afraid of
I'm in love with you right now. No homo.
Taylor, I hate to break this to you guys, and you guys may be shocked. I'm straight.
Ew. To the gulags with you.
You know what? I would much rather.
Yeah,
From
S
20
man,
years, dude, that is going to be a crime.
S man, how dare you? Didn't you know that Boomer was allergic to pussy, and you have the residue of it all over yourself?
Well,
He along with Cult of Ham.
S-Man, did you get Owen sick?
wait, what?
I was making a joke because he
Oof.
also gay, and he also sick too. He got sick
I
recently.
thought he was bi.
Same difference.
Yeah, we'll just lump the
Then
entire
I'm gay
LGBT
then.
He likes his dick. That's the point.
We'll just lump the entire LGBT community as just gay.
I Humane Mind endorse
I'm gay then.
DarkCon's message. Dude,
Humane mind needs to go someplace, preferably hell.
I think he just needs to go visit his local hooker, and I think he'll stop being such like he'll stop being such an irritable bitch. Like
He needs to make out with a bisexual hooker,
he
just for the sake that he can like witness for himself. Oh, I did not realize all this time that LGBTs are really not supportive of pedophilia.
Zach, you can go be a gigolo.
Hey, I
thanks.
have a strong suspicion that maybe he's just projecting.
I think he's protesting a little too much about the LGBT community.
Maybe he has some secrets to hide. Maybe someone should investigate his
Well-
internet search history.
Let's at least not. Well, I don't know. I mean, let's at least not go into the area of slander.
I know. I'm just saying that that someone should ask some questions to him.
I'm very certain. Let's have him get in a hangout with Stefan Molyneux. Humane will spill his fucking guts like we've never seen before. Dude,
Stefan Molyneux needs to like get hit by a truck or something.
Oh god!
God.
He needs to lighten the fuck up. He's like that awkward uncle in the family reunion that you don't want to be around. With how he'll mention like race facts out of left field.
Like shit, I might be racist as hell, but damn, he makes me look like Dr. King by comparison.
He makes you look like the black Strom Thurmond. No wait. Stefan Molyneux is the modern day Strom Thurmond.
I mean, you calling yourself racist, that's more of a joke towards Hawk's comments about you, right?
Hey guys, if you don't
Might as well, yeah.
If you don't support Israel over Palestine or you criticize Israel, you are an anti-Semitic racist, and Palestinians aren't a thing.
God. Ugh.
I don't care about the Israel-Palestine bullshit. The U.S. never should have given a shit about that whole situation. That was not our place to get involved.
We give them more money than literally anybody else. It's the funniest thing ever.
I'd cut the foreign aid immediately.
What I really liked was that three of us in this call right here were like united against Hawk when it came to guns.
Honestly, that was the greatest. Hawk was probably reaching for No, I'm not even going to joke. Never mind.
You had a moderate writer like myself, a center writer like Sman, and a moderate to far leftist like a Boomer, all united against the guy who's like all united against the center leftist who is just far left on guns.
Honestly,
what's funny is that most Marxists absolutely oppose gun control. So him acting as a leftist really irritates me.
The thing with Hawk is he actually, I took the political compass test and it put me as 7 blocks out to the right, and I was like, wait, how the fuck? Like those questions seriously are like how they frame it. It's
they're skewed. The political compass test is skewed to put you in the left libertarian quadrant. You can be literally Hitler, and they'll just put you in the center.
Oh boy.
There's actually a song called Fencesitter. I can't remember who made it. I think it was something Ballpark. Fucking great song. So Hawk gave me a good song to listen to. It's actually a really nice one. But dude called me far right, and it's like, wait a minute. No, I'm very socially libertarian, as libertarians are. And, even if I was quote unquote far right, it was only in the economic sense. So Hawk could eat a dick on that one. Which that would hurt for whoever's dick he eats because he has a fucking beak because he's a fucking bird. Anyway,
I will say that center leftists seem to be more radically pro gun control than far leftists.
Yeah, and the reason why is because center leftists are little bitches.
Center leftists are more outspoken for gun control than anyone else on any other place of the political spectrum.
Yeah. Meanwhile, far leftists are like, well, we can't have a revolution without guns, you retards.
Yeah.
And then also people are like, well, marginalized communities cannot should be able to protect themselves from hate groups. So owning guns is smart.
I can definitely agree more with the idea of protecting yourself from the Klan or alt-righters or neo-Nazis or anything else along them lines. But the economic violent revolution, no.
Honestly, damn. I know this is going to sound jaded for me to say, but I wouldn't shed a tear like if they try to overthrow America and we just squished them like a bug. I wouldn't feel bad. I really wouldn't.
What if they squished me like a bug?
Okay, hang on. Wait, you're on your phone, aren't you?
Wait, yeah. What about Boomer? What about Chuck Green?
DarkCon, check this group chat. This is my response.
Press F for respect. Okay.
Damn right, motherfucker.
Wow. Okay.
You have an F in your fucking profile picture. Like you had to see this was coming.
Oh, I forgot about that.
You know what's also another weird thing? And I comfortably came to this conclusion as well, with a whole bunch of other fellow libertarians and ANCAPs. Is that oddly enough, it's more white people spoken out for gun control. Like when there's like a mass shooting that happens, you'll hear more of the likes of like Jimmy Kimmel or Piers Morgan or whoever else like speaking out for the issue. Whereas
Yeah, they're called white liberals.
then
Kimmel's a cuck.
then you have like a I mean, you won't have people like Al Sharpton or someone else speaking out for more gun control. The closest it gets probably would be Don Lemon. That's it.
He's a cuck. But the thing, yeah, that's true. Part of it is because these mass shootings hit them way too close to home. I don't know what it is, but there's something going on that's causing a lot of young men to want to commit acts of mass shootings. And
I blame women.
Oh God.
Brandon, you're such a MGTOW incel.
Like I hear like for real. I hear feminists talk about how this is a men, problem. I'm like, yeah, sure, dudes commit more of the mass shootings, but why? It's not because this is not a normal thing.
Not because they have testosterone flowing through them. We all know.
I mean, they have higher rates of mental illness.
I mean, even if like the gender stats for who commits most shootings or homicides or whatever are more skewed towards men, I do not see as to how this is like a gender issue.
Well, it's worth noting in terms of men versus women on intelligence. Their overall intelligence is pretty equal, but there's a greater differential among men than it is among women, whereas most women are more centered in the average. There among men are both more geniuses and more idiots. It's why you both have more men in hard sciences and more men who've impaled their balls on a fence post while trying to jump over it in a motorcycle. Because there are both a greater number of geniuses and a greater number of morons among men. And this is also why men have higher crime rates, because lower IQ tends to lead to more criminal behavior, and there are a greater number of men who are complete fucking morons.
Loudmouth?
Yes?
I think I'm going to be like in the cringing position in this chair until like the end of the stream.
Why?
Because just that image in my head.
It was a reference to Idiocracy.
I know, but
right. I only saw the very bare beginning of that, and I saw the part of when that one dumbass fat dude who had like an 86 IQ score or something like that.
Yeah,
he hit the fence, and then he got some kind of surgery to help repair his package.
Yes, yeah. There's the line. Thankfully, thanks to modern medical advances, his reproductive ability will be restored. I'm like, no.
Oh. What was I going to say? I do think that mental illness. One thing that pisses me off about male feminists, they piss me off when they try to talk about the mental health issues in men, and then start pointing out their political theory instead of actual instead of actually helping people. They're such fake motherfuckers. I can't deal with them.
Most male feminists are actually incel and are just doing it to get laid.
I can believe it.
I would definitely believe that a person like Steve Shives is a phony in his beliefs, but I think there's like a certain sense of genuineness, if that's a word, when it comes to like demotivator opinion. I mean, I haven't watched enough of the guy, but
yeah, I as I said, a lot of them are like that. That's not true for all of them. That's not like they're all like that, but a lot of them are really just dudes who think that if they come to bat for women, then it'll increase their chance of getting laid. Because feminists tell them this shit all the time, and they believe it, even though it's obvious bullshit.
I will tell you that of what little that I have seen of Demotivator Opinion and H Bomber Guy, Demotivator Opinion definitely has the better approach and the better way of speaking because he isn't as much of a smug, pompous with the way he sounds.
Right.
Compared to H Bomber Guy.
I love H Bomber Guy.
H Bomber Guy's attitude just disgusts me. I cannot stomach to see the guy's face.
Yeah, ContraPoint also makes some pretty good arguments sometimes.
What?
ContraPoint is an angel.
That's not to say that H Bomber Guy is the biggest moron. Like when it comes to like the intersectional feminist community or SJW community, whatever you want to label them, H Bomber Guy is like one of the sharper knives in the kitchenware drawer.
Right. Like
whereas Steve Shives is the
DarkCon. That's violent of you to say.
Yeah, Shives makes the worst arguments. He doesn't even make arguments. He just basically calls people names, and that's it.
I will say that ContraPoints would be somebody who else that somewhat has my respect of what little that I've seen of her.
Right.
The only
I agree. Her video on incels was actually pretty good because I like that she described kind of the more fucked up behavior that go on those forums as digital self-harm, and that it kind of to explain why these guys kind of behave in such odd ways. That actually is probably very accurate to what those guys are doing. It is a form of self-harm.
Right.
It's similar to cutting your wrists.
The only bit that I've seen of ContraPoints is her interview with Sargon, and just Sargon was being a little bit, I would say, too much of a dick towards ContraPoints. I mean, of course,
Sargon, he's got an ego on him. He likes sniffing his own farts.
Didn't he just get suspended again?
Yeah, I know.
Speaking, you want to know a good instance of the left so-called eating itself? Twitter has been Kamala Harris supporters have been mass reporting people who criticize her, and so a lot of anti-Kamala Harris people have been banned from Twitter. I'm like, that might explain why my account's been fucked with the last couple days.
And I take it that a lot of anti-Harris people are some people who are on the left.
Most of the ones I've seen are leftists because, well, we don't like her because she's a cop. Well, her prosecution records have not been very good to working class and black people. So, and also just a lot of black folks do not like her at all. Can't stand her. I can't stand her. And so you got all these Hillary Clinton supporters who are now Kamala Harris supporters, calling us misogynists, calling us racists, even though most of us are black.
So what you're saying is because she's a woman that you don't want her to be the next president after we elected the racist, the sexist, the misogynist, pussy-grabbing orange orangutan, Donald Bone Spurs Trump.
Yeah, and not only that, but I don't support Cory Booker either.
So what you're saying is that America should never ever elect another person of color again? Wow, the internalized racism.
Hey, I want a black candidate that will advocate for black people, but we won't be getting one of those for a while. We won't be getting one of those this year. It doesn't appear.
So what you're saying is that I need to get my priorities straight and not be for identity politics, which didn't help us win the last election. Wow, that's a little too hard for me to stomach.
Yeah, I need you to have policies instead of fucking dancing to Cardi B and thinking that will get the black vote, fucking Kamala Harris.
I'm sorry. Okay, first of all, I cannot do that voice unless I want to sound like my nuts are in my chest. But also, let's also keep in mind, seriously, Cardi B's video was really shitty. I was like, oh yeah, I agree with you that the shutdown is stupid, and it shouldn't happen again. But like, I'm sorry, celebrities need to shut the fuck up. They're not helping.
Just so you know. Wait. You saying celebrities need to shut up? But our president, he's a celebrity. Huh?
You anti-free speech fascist S-man.
Yeah.
The fascist oligarchy dictatorship of Esmanistan is now open to the people.
Anyway, I think I'm going to get on out of here, get myself some lunch, even though it's kind of a late hour in the afternoon, and do some more prepping for the Owen McDonald debate. He says, think of it as more of a discussion. But I'm thinking to myself,
he wants a date with
you. Really, you call me all these sorts of, you really call me all these sorts of names, and you expect a cordial discussion? Get fucked.
I do expect it at cordialdiscussion.com because you're on my channel. You're on my channel in my living room, and I will believe say that you are trying to lynch me if you dare my ideology or my beliefs.com.
Boomer, I think you should check S-Man's closet for any KKK hoods.
Oh, come on.
I'm sure there are a few of them.
That was one time, DarkCon. That was one time.
Next thing you know, S-Man is darkening up his skin to dress up as Michael Jackson for a dance contest.
That was for Halloween 1 year.
Anyway, see you guys later.
See ya.